although the repulse passive could be very useful in this fight. When I attack enemies that I have repulsed, where the weak point is out, I actually have a chance of gaining all of my, well, a lot of my ammo back when I'm standing. Passive could be good in this kind of fight. Eve, you could have continued running, no? Oops, wrong heal. Became confused there for a moment. Notice he's invincible for a short moment after he teleports. I can't shoot at him immediately. Oh, that's bad. Oh, shotgun ammo? Oh, no. I'm out of blaster ammo. I am fucked. The other is invisible again. There's like that short period where after he teleports, you can't damage him. Oh fuck, it's... Well... That slow? Oh, he changes this combo on this phase. I see, I didn't know that. That's way too early. I wonder if the lock-on stays on him if you keep it on. Oh, it's this combo. I thought it was the other one. I don't think I've ever seen that, you know. That you need to do twice. Too early? Dire as fuck, doesn't it? Never mind. I guess we are never gonna learn his moves. Adam or the Elder Naytiba or Raphael Marx, whatever alias he wants to go with, he's way too auspicious and also way too gentle, even in his hostile form.
Adam, I'm sorry.
Eve. With this, the history of humans is over. Your will, your actions, your decisions. I just hope that everyone
is guided
in
the right direction. Everyone is guarded in the guided in the right direction.
Adam. Goodbye.
Even until his final breath, he is as sincere as authentic as he has been throughout the entire story.
Eve! Eve! The nest! Hurry!
Right, I'm not gonna lie, I think there might be a new problem in the New Game Plus of this playthrough. I think because of the amount of damage that I do not do,
A starry
I'm gonna
night
run out of ammo in most of these
reading
fights.
the future is like mapping out the night sky.
In the
And sometimes you catch a glimpse of a shooting star falling towards Earth.
So is she
Yes.
metaphorically saying here
Seeing
again
the future
that
is
seeing the
just like that.
future is predictable if you have the
I
tools for
really
it,
respect
foresight,
your decision, Eve.
or if it's
Even if
unpredictable
it
because it is so like
a
over our
bittersweet
heads.
one. I will be waiting for you, and I will be watching.
Mother Sphere.
Is it done? Is it finally over?
Yes, it is, Eve and Lily. It is time to go home.
But we still have things to do.
First, let's pay Mother Sphere a visit. We have a few questions for her, remember?
Notice how the ship's wings resemble that of a butterfly's? I think that is some kind of remark on the Mother Sphere caring about maybe the nature of things. Maybe.
I can see the colony. Oh, but...
What a travesty that is. Did she... I guess she dropped the innermost of those orbital rings on that entire colony in the final war of the game. That's what caused all of the... well, the massive devastation and the extinction of most intelligent life on Earth. Right. Yeah, I didn't learn anything about the Elder Naytiba fight. It's always the same. Like, the Elder Naytiba fight he gives way too much free time, not like, you know, I'm not talking in the way of like, you know, free time for me to like heal or to think what I'm gonna do or something, but more so he gives too much free time for me to charge my burst and beta energy. So most of my beta and burst energy skills, if not every single one of them in fact, they stagger most enemies and bosses. So if he gives me time to charge beta and burst energy all the time like that in the fights, or in the fight, then that means that when the moments when he's doing nothing for a moment, I stack the beta burst energy, and then when he starts doing something, I parry a couple times and then I cancel his attack by doing a burst skill or a beta skill. So a lot of the fight, like this fight, the way the like back and forth goes in the fights that are more passive, like I basically just get to stun lock them and cancel their attacks until they die, basically. And that is something that the fights like Raven and I mean I guess unidentified Naytiba also goes for it, as well as the Providence fight. They don't allow you to do that anywhere near as easily. They have a lot of instant punishing attacks and even variations on them when they get perma stunned or staggered. And they also have few attacks that they can insta punish you with in case they are being like staggered all the time. They have attacks that just have infinite poise, you know? Oh boy. Yeah, you know what? That New Game Plus playthrough, I am so gonna run out of ammo in these fights. That's gonna be a gigantic issue. I think even on the normal New Game Plus playthrough, when I had the normal damage on the Blood Edge, like, I was almost running out of ammo in a lot of fights before I even killed the boss. So like, yeah. I think we may have a whole lot the same here, I think. But yeah, I'm gonna be back in a second. You guys watch these credits. Also, I'm not in a habit of skipping credits in games usually. Unless it's games that I have grinded for like hundreds of hours off stream. But, you know, these games that I play on stream, I'm not in a habit of skipping credits on them. Although this game's credits does not exactly have unique music. Except this song. I think this song is a unique music to the credits. I don't remember hearing this one somewhere else. You know what I think I have the biggest grudge about with this game? think overall, having played 4 full playthroughs now, I think this game's biggest issue is the pacing of interesting boss fights and exciting events. As like blunt as that is to say. I feel like that scarcity is the biggest problem this game has. Because like, what is the first like exciting event or fight or like cinematic or scene that I can think of on each new playthrough? Well, obviously the intro is cool, so the prologue obviously. That's cool. Abaddon fight is also really nice. Then after that we have, I mean, Giga's, I never liked Giga's fight, not once. It's hard to see what he does, same as Elder Naytiba for different reasons. He raises his arms so high up before he does some of his attacks that you kind of have to guess what he does, or just know what it is. Which in a game that is so focused on like, you know, parrying being a core mechanic, it's not exactly the best thing. And then what else after that? Then we have the Maelstrom in the desert, obviously. I mean, very uninteresting fight. Like, it's way too easy, and honestly, both the Altus and Abyss Levoir areas, both of those areas are way too lenient. Like, they should have gone way harder on making either the puzzles, the parkour elements, or the challenges from the enemy encounters in there way harder for the railgun only, you know? Like, I think in each one of these playthroughs, I hated those areas just because of how easy they are. Like, they are just significantly easier compared to, like, any of the other, like, normal areas of the game, where Eve can use her shock blade normally. Like, so much so that I would say that they are, like, gimmick areas that are failures, almost. Even on the first playthrough. And then... Anyway, after the Altus Levoir area, what do we have in the Wasteland? We have 2 reskin fights, and then we have the Brute. I mean, the Brute fight is kind of cool, I guess, but we already fight him in the prologue, so it's not exactly something to get excited about. Do we have anything exciting in the story, then? Well, I mean... there's a whole lot of talking. There's a whole lot of dialogue moments in this game. And then, like, when it comes to, like, cinematic moments that are really cool, I think we would have to get all the way to, like... Taki. Yeah, probably fight with Taki is probably the first one. But that's already in Matrix 11, so that's a lot of gameplay to go through before something really cool like that happens. And then we have... I mean, obviously, Abyss Levoir, another Maelstrom, it's kind of whatever. Lots of dialogue, cinematic. Or cutscene, that's just where there's a whole lot of talking and nothing else. In the desert we have 2 reskin fights. You know, both of the reskin fights in the desert are good, but, you know, they are reskin fights, so like, it's not like it's something unique to get excited about. Stalker is a very good boss fight, I like it a lot. Abaddon is also really fun to fight, I like it as well. And so is Behemoth. Behemoth I've also liked on each one of the playthroughs as well. He is also a fun fight. But he is a reskin of one of the normal enemies in the area. The normal, whatever those, like, panther enemies are that roam the area, you know? It's one of those, but just different moves. And then what do we have after that? Well, then we have some actually exciting stuff. Like, the entire, like, well, Eidos 9, obviously. I feel like Eidos 9 is just... Like, don't get me wrong, I do enjoy playing Eidos 9 on each one of these playthroughs I have. But it's just like... It just feels like missed potential in that area. And the presentation in a lot of stuff there is just off. Particularly, I'm very bummed about the presentation on the cutscene in Lily's Atelier. It's just like... The presentation on the cinematic events where the characters show a lot of emotion is a massive miss in this game, and that's always been the case. I've always said that. But That's one thing that would be nice if they actually hit those moments correct. Just the pacing correct, and then the characters like rigging as well. And I suppose some of the voice acting as well. Like, best example of like that would be like when Taki dies on Eve's arms in Matrix 11. Taki does a whole lot of this, like, well, at least in the English voice acting, she does, probably in Korean too, and any other ones too. She does this like excessive like coughing between her dialogue there, and that is incredibly awkward to listen to in that scene. I don't think it fits there, to be honest. I think they should have done something else there. But yeah, that's just like quite a minute detail that most people are not really gonna think about, but you subconsciously do react to it because, you know, humans are very good at like reading other people's like image or behavior just by looking at them, even without them even acknowledging what they are seeing to their own selves, you know? Like, more than half of what you say, you know, as there is a saying for this, more than half of what you say is like written on the characters that you're looking at, on their behavior and their face, you know? Most of it is like, should I say, what is it, like silent messaging, you know? That's where most of the communication comes from. But yeah, I mean, with how many like bad things I've said about this game at times, would I be playing this game 4 times in a row? 5th time about to be in a row? If I didn't like the game a lot? No, I would not. It's not like I'm in denial or something and just forcing myself to play through this game. No, I do not. I like this game a lot. I do. But it's so sad to see when, like, if they just change some things, it would be so unbelievably good. Like, I feel like if they just had, like, a year, or maybe a bit less than a year of more development time of just figuring some nicks out, this game could be on my top 3 or top 4 favorite games of all time. That's where the sequel comes in though, because they have such a good base here, like they're only gonna improve stuff for the sequel, right? So the sequel is probably gonna slap incredibly hard. And the story is even more interesting on the sequel. Because now we are gonna be fighting both Naytiba's and Mother Sphere's angel army as well. Throughout the story, I bet. Because it has to continue from that canon secret ending for sure. It's way too good to continue from that. Boy. But yeah, when this game comes on PC, I'm gonna play it a lot more again as well. At least a few playthroughs. Likely more, to be honest, like with some modding and some like graphical updates, the game running like high refresh rate experience, whatever, ray tracing possibilities even, whatever they come up with, you know. Whatever it may be, whatever it may not be. I'm probably gonna play it more actually when it comes on PC than playing it on the PS5 now. I'm calling it now. I'm already calling it. But yeah, being able to turn your attacks, being able to turn your attacks during combos between enemies by either manually aiming or by locking onto a different enemy immediately, like very like naturally through attacks, as well as having some of the attack stuns or stalls not be as long, like when you do a light attack for example, or you finish a combo, your character doesn't stand there maybe as long, but that kind of thing is more so, it's not so much of a quality of life change as much as it is like, you know, making the game just easier, you know? So that kind of change is a bit harder to implement without like ruining some of the difficulty. But yeah, maybe not that one, but being able to turn your attacks at the start, so being able to like turn your attack like maybe 90 degrees or 45 degrees when you press R1 or heavy attack for example, or being able to turn your combos by manually aiming or by locking into a different enemy, or being able to cancel your combo and start a new one if you press the wrong button on a combo instead of the right one. So example, if your combo is light, light, heavy, heavy, and you do light, light, heavy, light, then instead of Eve standing there on that fourth attack and doing nothing because you pressed the wrong button, she would start a new light attack entirely for a new combo. So it would be light, light, heavy, and then when you do the light immediately, she cancels the combo and starts a new light attack. So then you can do like light, light, heavy, light, heavy, light, heavy, light. So you can start a new combo like very like fast if you either fuck up or intentionally cancel one combo because you either do not feel that you have enough time to finish it or because you just simply press the wrong button at the given time or something, you know? Like that would be really nice, like that option to have, as well as being able to have aim assist off for the railgun at all times, even when there's enemies on the screen, because being able to hit like weak points on the enemy is easier than the glowing weak points, because the aim assist does not lock on the glowing weak points on the enemy, it locks on the center of their body most of the time. So you can't actually hit those weak points a lot of the time with the railgun, because it hard locks on the center of their mass most of the time instead of the weak points. And then on top of that, if you want to like use the exploding drums that there is throughout the game to like do massive nuke damage to enemies, then if it auto-locks on the center of their bodies, then you obviously cannot easily like insta-fire those drums during fights, so that adds an even more amount of like expression to combat. Like those like three big things there on just the attacking mostly of the game. And I think this game would be pretty much actual crack to play. Like, I would say at that point, this game might just be as enjoyable to replay over and over again a lot of the time as something like Sekiro. Like, it would be one of those games that you would literally just play for the gameplay, where you can just play like Sekiro endlessly, you know? I'm gonna obviously have to go to Sekiro back at some point as well. I still have not finished my one attack power playthrough on that game. I also maybe should give another chance to Punisher's Ghosts of New Eden. I was unbelievably harsh on that game. There's a good reason as to why I was so harsh on that game though. Like, even if it wasn't for the performance or having to try to like fix it off stream to be able to actually stream the game or whatever, or the vertical sync in the game seemingly, you know, being broken at the time when I was playing it, you know. The screen tearing issue. Or the memory leaking problem possibly, or the RAM leak issue in the game. Like, the stories that game's side quests tell, like the characters, is one of the most well-written things I have ever seen in a game. Like, every single one of the characters that you have a, say, what was it now called? Not manifestation, but like a banishment quest or banishing quest. Every single one of those like haunted NPCs had such an incredibly well like put together story in each and every one of them. Like, it was actually just, it was really nice to like, you know, see those stories, you know. But then where the game like super hard drops it is the combat and the bosses in that game. Man, the combat. The best word I like to say about that game's combat is inconvenient. That's what I've always said about Punisher's Ghosts of New Eden's combat. It tries to resemble so much of the 2018 or God of War Ragnarok, but it just tries to do its own spin on it by restricting the player from cancelling their attacks as much and locking them on some of the combos for much longer than you should also honestly be locked into them. So it creates this hack and slash type gameplay with tens of enemies on your screen at once all the time, where the game is basically telling you with how fast the enemies are and how many enemies there are and how, like, you know, quite big punching bags they are a lot of the time. Like, the game wants it to be a hack and slash game. But if you play it like a hack and slash game, instead of like a Souls game or an action game that emphasizes like dodging or parrying, then you're gonna get severely punished by the amount of enemies trying to hit you at the same time, because you cannot cancel your attacks as well as finish your attacks anywhere near as fast in that game as you should be able to when fighting so many enemies at once, you know? So it just feels like there's some like misdirection there, or like a loss in direction of what the game's combat is supposed to be. And also the bosses in that game suck some absolute major ass. Like, I remember on my first playthrough of that game that I did rush at one point, or at a certain point. I fought like the same fucking like four-legged like manifestation beast or a scorch like probably 4 or maybe even 5 times in different places of the game. Like, what in the fuck is that? And it's not like this is just a random like reskinned filler enemy too. It's one of the main quest enemies that you do in the game. In like the second big village that you find in the game, you have this like four-legged like wolf like scorch beast. You fight that in the story, it's very important in the story, and then you find it like several times in some like you know, scorch manifestation spots throughout the game as optional fights. Like, what the fuck is that, you know? Like, that is so lazy. I hate it with this game as well, how it uses those reskin fights so often. And I tell you, if they literally just took like few months or some months more development time, every single one of these fights in this game and some of the reskinned enemies that are maybe a little too prevalent throughout the game here and there, they could have easily swapped those for a complete unique enemies with a bit more development time. Just easily, not even close. Imagine how cool that would have been too, you know? I think there's only 2 reasons ever for a game like this to reuse the same like assets that are pivotal to gameplay. And that is either most important order, storytelling. If it's very important for the storytelling and the fitting scene of what those characters are in the context that they are found in the game, then reskinning some fights is actually, or reskinning some fights and some enemies is actually important because it fits the story and it serves to tell the story and it's authentic to the game, right? Of what the game is trying to be at that time in the story. So there it's important, yeah. But then the other reason is just convenience. It saves time from the developers just to, you know, paste the same enemy in there, you know, the same enemy types. But then there's no actual good reason for them to be there, you know? Journey to find the truth continues.